In 1350, what we know as the idyllic French countryside was a living hell. For more than 15 years, the people had suffered at the hands of English invaders. Little did they know that this war would last for another 100 years. But through this crucible of fighting, famine and plague, there would emerge the modern nation of France. England's King Edward III looked jealously across the English Channel. Wanting France for his own, he had added the fleur-de-lis, the symbol of France, to his own royal standard. This was an all-out declaration of war. And in 1337, he invaded. But France already had a king, Philippe VI. As the English burned their way across the land, Philippe's army and his legendary knights marched to meet them and came face to face with the English longbow. A simple weapon, but the most devastating the knights had ever faced. The heroes of France fell to storms of English arrows. The war engulfed the French countryside. By 1351, the conflict was focused on Brittany. One fight stands out as a spectacular display of chivalry and a symbol of the wider conflict between the two enemy nations. The Combat of the 30 is still commemorated here in Brittany. It was a dispute between two local families. Supported by the opposing sides in the war, the French and English commanders decided to settle it through a trial of knightly combat. Each side would choose 30 champions to fight on neutral ground. France prepared to defend itself against England's finest. Intent on ending the suffering of the French peasantry, Sir Jean de Beaumanoir sent a challenge to the English commander. 30 champions on each side would compete in a tournament for final claim to Brittany. With the battleground of the halfway oak agreed upon, Sir Jean set out to gather support from local knights. As a knight himself, Sir Jean followed the strict rules of chivalry and was expected to protect the local peasantry and ensure peace.
Mettons-nos en la bouée. Expose donc en la bouée. Glorieuse liquator!
Most medieval tournaments were friendly in nature, held for sport and glory, but the combat of the 30 was arranged between opponents mired in war. English raids had torn through the countryside of Brittany and brought great hardship to the people.
Avant, compagnon.
Sir Jean spotted an English raiding party attacking a nearby farmstead.
Avertissez votre courage, compagnon. Je cours.
The French knights defeated the English raiders, and Sir Guy de Rochefort joined Sir Jean's party.
Je suis votre serveuse.
La lance preste.
Le incontinent. Avant, compagnon.
Sir Jean's search next brought him to Sir Geoffroy de Bois, whose squires were contending with a detachment of English longbowmen. The knights would use the great speed of their war horses to charge the archers and overwhelm them. The English longbowmen fell, but the French knights knew the enemy would attempt to retake the hilltop fortification and steeled themselves for further attacks.
Voyez votre yet vos à moi. Avant, compagnon. Accessments vos, compagnon.
Là, ça va s'en faire compagnon.
With Sir Geoffroy by his side, Sir Jean had secured the outpost. Looking to secure his honor, a young knight held his ground on a bridge in Sir Jean's path.
Je suis... Donnez-moi vos habits. Obéir, c'est vertu.
Honorably conceding defeat in the duel, Sir Yves Charel joined the cause.
Więc vostok, en avoué. Bien savets quoque nos advient. Oyez. Avec un pied ci, un pied là. Bête! Bête commanderate! Reniez vos armes!
Sir Jean entered the staging area for the tournament, where he prepared to choose which knights would join him in battle. Each knight would be accompanied by his squires, young nobles in training to become knights themselves.
Aveillez j'obtemper à obsabitz.
Sir Jean had selected his champions. As the sun rose, the two sides entered the arena, ready for the first round of combat.
Si faites vos commandements. Si faites vos commandements. Reniez vos armes. Bête! Un pied ci, un pied là.
Honneur en votre service. Je compte
Claiming an easy victory in the first round, the French champions left the arena to recover their strength.
Vectors nos en avoué. Reniez vos armes.
Sois ici comme vos voldrez.
Aveillez votre. Reniez vos armes. Vectors nos en avoué.
Accespets wand, je commande, avant.
Refreshed and reinvigorated, the French knights returned to the arena for another round of combat. The combat of the 30 was about to decide which nation would control the Duchy of Brittany. Triumphant, Sir Jean de Beaumanoir and his loyal knights claimed victory. The combat of the 30 had decided control of Brittany in favor of the French. Little did the two sides know, this was just the beginning of a bitter war that would outlive them all. After victory at the Combat of the 30, the French faced devastating raids from England's Black Prince. But France's King John II was closing in. Jean finally caught the English near the city of Poitiers in September 1356. The French army outnumbered the English by thousands. King Jean himself joined the fight, but what seemed a certain victory for France soon turned into a nightmare. The English longbow devastated the mighty French army. An endless hail of arrows gutted the main French force. Then the English captured King Jean. The fight was over. The Battle of Poitiers was another catastrophic defeat for the French. The English had destroyed most of France's nobility in a single day. Now they turned their attention towards taking the French capital, Paris. The invaders marched unopposed towards Paris. The remains of some of the medieval walls of Paris still stand today. As the English army approached, the terrified locals sought shelter behind these defenses. Could France's capital withstand the full might of the Black Prince's army? The English Black Prince had raided the French countryside without mercy, and now his army had come for the capital. With the English on their doorstep, it fell to the French army and the people of Paris to defend the walls of their proud city. Hoping to avoid open battle, the French began fortifying the city, manning the walls and calling every available soldier to his post.
À votre commandement. Lors bâtige s'essuie. Advertance de demande. Va jetzt moi besoin.
As the French hastened their preparations, several detachments of English soldiers were spotted closing in on the city.
Advertence. Lors bâtige s'essuie. Accordé.
Allons, ça, est tous. Oui, dame. Laisse ouïr.
Besoin de nos attentes, manance. Déguerre puissance, manance. Nos dialogues. besoin, Manance. Giovanni Basti.
Besoin de résistance. Manance. Giovanni Basti.
Oil.
Pour servir. Kostoya Laurez.
The English showed no mercy, burning their way to Paris via 3 routes, each of which was home to villages and farms that supplied the capital.
Lors devant nos salaires. La Setsmoy exploit. Lors de
Que faut-il donc besoin? Manance. Offrons-nous.
Manance, offrons Manance. Nos devant salaire. Si nos qui a l'oreille. En besoin. Je vous amène.
Installment des commandements. Manance. La Setsmoy exploité. Giovanni Basti. Oil. Mestir des mouets. Kostoya Laurez.
Longtemps va-t-il demeurer?
Nos allons, chevolcheur. Une autre Versailles. Dicte-moi mon Versailles.
De l'Estier, à point de Tietsmas.
Longtemps se battent.
Sivey. Avance, à de l'Estier.
Mon arc est prêt. Archers.
En Belestre.
Mestir des Brest pour la besogne, Manance. Giovanni Basti. Pour me faire trahir. Ace à l'ami.
Chessmets vos en Belestres. Je gagne mon gage. Sivey. Oui, à Barbet. Avance au Belestier. Avance au Belestier. S'il vous plaît.
Having struck out at the English front line, the French had slowed the enemy's advance.
Allons, comme il vous plaît. Je gagne mon gage. Oui, à Barbet. Au Belestre colle. Avance. En Belestier, avance. Allons. Chessmets vos en Belestres. En Belestier, avance. Allons. Avance en Belestier. Allons. Sivey. Au Belestre colle. Avance. Avance au Belestier. Bien oeil. Sivey. En Belestier, avance. Allons.
Baillez moins besoin. Si, comme un volet. Lors se bâtit, je s'estuie. Mon arc est prest.
En Belestre.
Archers. Les comme archers, on la way.
Belestre paré. À Chessmets vos.
Archers, on the weapons, archers. On the weapons, archers.
En Belestier, c'est ce bonus. Chessmets vos habillement. En Belestier.
Archers, Prenez votre demeurez, point de place du coin. Besoin à faire.
As the French continued to rally their army, the English took the last of the surrounding villages and had almost encircled Paris.
Oil, à votre commandement. Dostoya Lauretz.
Me laisse te parer. Chessmet, je gagne mon gage.
Liechtenstein postiert.
With the countryside in flames and the English at the city gates, the French armies steeled themselves for battle. Now came the capital's true test, with the mighty walls of Paris hold against a fearsome English siege.
Oyez bien, compagnon. Comme il vous plaise.
The Parisian guard raised the alarm as the English began their first assault on the city walls.
Guerre à Parmeil. Archers à grande source.
Ich sequence was away.
Oyez, l'Orfevance nos salaires.
The French army fought valiantly, repelling the first English attack.
Bien, bien. Païs. Monarque est
Si fais vos commandements.
que fort. Ouais, Yves donc. Lors Batige s'essuie.
Besoin à faire? Aïe, mestière de moi.
Compagnons, oyez bien.
Archers, oyez.
Oui, frère. Compagnon, annonce. À Parmeil.
Archers, archers, allons!
Chessmet, vos habillements. En Belespierre. À Chessmet, vos en Belespierre. Comme il vous plaît. Sur quoi me faut-il faire? Oyez bien ça, compagnon. On me laisse te parer. S'éveille. À chest, oui, à Parmeil. Compagnon, os Despartans, brièmant. Oui, da. Si.
Presque fort frère.
Sur quoi me faut-il
Pour
traire?
ne pas vous trahir.
Dictez-moi une Versailles. Sur quoi me faut-il traire?
De vers où faut-il archer? Ohne besoin, Edgefect.
Oberst paré. Uns autre Versailles.
me faut trahir.
Oberst compagnon, aux allons. Uns autre, je gagne mon gage.
Besoin d'y faire. Nos archives! Tous y à l'oreille.
Mais ici, laisse, je gagne mon gage. À Chestnut Fox. Compagnon, aux allons. À Chestnut Fox.
Faites porteur. Besogne. Oyex, tous le monde. Oui, Giovanni Bastien. Provence, avouer un mestier des bois.
Oil, mestier des mouettes.
J'exploite les réparements. Reste portrait.
On paye bien, oil. Fais ici le comme fais de la bruit.
Monarch est pressed.
The French defense of their capital held firm, wearing down the English invaders one by one.
Base nos Despartans,
Reste portrait.
à Chestnut Fox.
Monarch est pressed.
À pleine course. Revolcher, on arrange pour l'avouer.
M besoin.
Suis sans couému.
Reste portrait. Oil. Citos. Dicte-moi mon Versailles. Toast ya Lauretz. Monarch est pressed. À Testament Vos, Archiers. Dicte-moi mon Versailles. Oyez.
Page!
Venez-vous. Essayez des Spartans.
Compagnon, oyez!
De vers où faut-il Archiers?
Comme vos placed.
Archers. Les commandes de Archers, le ferai-je donc? Preste portrait.
Ça espelle, Manuel.
Versailles.
Oyez bien, compagnon, aux allons. Oyez bien, comme ça, compagnon.
Archers. Archers. Allons.
Lichen envoyé vers le nord. Jetstone.
Ayez cure, Ox, comme
Compagnon, allons, ça va, mec.
que faut-il donc besoigner?
Je me s'amène mes riens. Mais ici, laisse commandement. À comme il vous plaît. Bien, Chestnut Fox, allons, ça va, mec.
Veichi les comme
Ça, compagnon. Oral bat. Compagnon. Oral bat. À Chestnut Fox, over les feux. Over les feux. À Chestnut Fox. Barmey! Jedoj! Overleveren! Attention, vehicle presence! Attention, overleveren!
Die Jet
Overleveren!
Entier, obéis au commandement!
Jetsmen for Aviamen! Overleveren! À Barmey!
Compagnon, à coup de Vesfos pour despartir.
Jetsmen for overleveren! Jetsmen, jedoj! Overleveren des Spartans! Vraiment!
Citez los commandements!
Overleveren! À quoi Jetsmen! Comme il vous plaît! Je gagne mon gage! Ça, compagnon!
Taillez-moi, petit.
Oyet, si, comme volets. Allons, Prestus.
L'ennemi nos archis!
Et ici, laisse commandement. À Chestnut Boss. Compagnon, aux allons. Envelestier. À poitiers de bas. Chestnut Boss, aviamen. Envelestier. Envelestier. À poitiers de bas. Sibé. Allons, à Barmey. À Chestnut Boss, envelestier.
Jetzt muss nicht rechts allumieren!
Los des Spartans, brillants! Jetsmen for aviamen, overleveren! Comme il vous plaît, overleveren! Jetsmen for aviamen, overleveren! Jetsmen overleveren! Jetsmen
Compagnon, avec ton pneu à la bouée, bien brillant.
overleveren! Jetsmen for! Ça, compagnon! En bonne! Jetsmen for aviamen, overleveren!
The enemy grew ever more desperate as their ranks thinned and their hopes of victory faded.
Adertan seulement. Si vais exploitier. Giovanni Bastir. Lors bâti de s'estuie. Lors bâti de s'estuie. Giovanni Bastir.
Compagnon, los des Spartans, brillament! Compagnon,
De vers où faut-il archier me mettre à la bouée? L'ennemi nos archis!
oyez bien, compagnon! Allons, ça Barmey!
Archers, j'obtempère. Archers, les commandements directs. Archers, votre Archers.
Envelestier! À poitiers de bas! Jetsmen for aviamen, overleveren! Oui, à Barmey! À Jet! Jetsmen for overleveren! Compagnon, nos allons. Nos Despartans, Bremen. Obelisque, à pointe d'Espagne. Obelisque pareil.
Oj, bomba servir.
Obelisque, à pointe d'Espagne. Guénoï.
Ajax, tous le monde. Tous de gars, Lauritz.
Besoin de Suisse envoyé.
À Chester Force. Chester l'ennemi. Chester Force à Biomet. Obelisque. Obelisque. Chester Mais ici, laisse comme ça, compagnon. Oh, attends. Quel bon petit don de soigner!
Jambert, toi, il n'a folle. Archer! Les commandements!
Oh, ton
Archer! À gauche, très fausse! Tentez de partir!
À chest, un Despartans, vraiment!
Accès spécial! Visible comme le volet.
Obelisque, à tuer, à marmer! Un Despartans, vraiment!
Archer! Prenez le croisard!
Chester Force à Biomet! À quoi Chester?
Archer! Oyez le commandement!
Chester Force, s'il vous plaît! Je gagne mon gagne!
Archer! On découvre Archer! Prenez le croisard!
Obelisque, à Chester Force! Sylvain!
Archer, faites-vous! Archer!
Va-t-il de me
Obelisque, à pointe d'Espagne! Chester compagnon! Orban! À Chester compagnon! Allons, informez! Obelisque, à pointe d'Espagne!
Obéir au commandement.
À Chester Obelisque! Chester, allons, informez! Guénoï! Compagnon, nos allons!
Ça est...
Compagnon, nos allons! Allons, ça m'arrête! Oui, à marmer! À Obelisque, à Chester Force! S'y traîne sur cette personne! À Chester Force! À Obelisque, à Chester Force! À Chester Force, à Obelisque! À pointe d'Espace! Silence! Chester Force, à Biomet! À Obelisque!
Defeated and demoralized by the strength of the French defense, the Black Prince's army abandoned their siege of the capital. Paris celebrated victory, but this was not the last test the French would face in their struggle to win the war. The walls of Paris held out against the English onslaught. England's King Edward and the Black Prince abandoned the siege. They marched towards Chartres to try their luck at conquering a less formidable target. But before they could attack, a violent storm hit the army. Killing 1,000 English soldiers in a tempest of hail and freezing winds. To Edward, this Black Monday disaster seemed like divine retribution. A sign that it was time to stop waging war and make peace with France's King Jean. But even as peace between kings was reached, the people of France were still living in bloodshed and turmoil. Between 1358 and 1370, France was in chaos. Peasant uprisings, rampaging bands of mercenaries, and civil war ravaged the country. Peasants rose in rebellion, killing their lords and wreaking havoc. Mercenary bands also roamed the land. Known as routiers, they had once been hired by the English to fight against the French, but were cut loose when peace was reached. They systematically ravaged and pillaged towns across France. And with King Jean prisoner in England, his son Charles the Dauphin faced homegrown attacks on his rule by powerful French lords, beset from all sides. The Dauphin's forces had to regain control over their own country. Having only recently been crowned King of France, Charles V dispatched his army to the French-held village of Évreux to forge order from chaos. From here, the army would move to extinguish three major threats. Bands of roving mercenaries harrying the countryside, a peasant uprising, and attacks from a rival for the French crown, Charles of Navarre. The French army would start by reclaiming the rebel-held villages of Cocherel, Jouy, and Croissy.
Labour-Spérance. Parat-Porvenir.
Parats pour Labourard. Yomasono la...
Labour-Spérance.
Wait, mais... Cose sera massonata. Parat Porvenir. Mondesquet. Benefect. Cose sera massonata.
Mais
Sisomes. Inerance. Seco materia. Guedabour. Retorno con Parats pour Labour. Si, comprendo.
Quid me? Monastial pour la materia.
Parats pour Labourard. Monastial pour la matière.
Et chez les man demande, comme me.
Guedabour.
Parades pour la bourrade.
Escolte bene.
Comprendo.
Mondesque, Vido, si. Vado la bourrade. La bourrade. Affect.
Feliz.
Quelle si
Labor
pois.
Speranza.
Si, bene.
Quid me? Ci somes, Quito. Retorno con materia. Benefect. Parade pour venir.
Ordine. Equites in avant.
Serviettes, attention!
Pace bove.
Me plect. Mondesqued. I affect. Io ma sono la cosa.
As the French army struggled to regain control of the countryside, they were struck by a band of English routiers. These mercenaries had been cut loose by the English army and were plundering the countryside in order to make a living. The French forces eliminated the routier attack, but more were still raiding the countryside in search of provisions and riches. The routier demanded payment from the French, or they would continue their horrifying raids.
Movamos, Valetus.
Vale.
Temps de retournar.
Bene.
Sito. Comme me. Movamos.
Ci somes. Vado la...
Tout sodite.
Vale.
Vado la bourrade.
Ok. Labour. Benefect.
Tout sodite.
Cavallarios para, quitie cursores! Si voleis!
Feliz et ver. Parade pour labour.
Cursor obéissance. Ambulo, si. Cavallo ici.
Me plect.
Que demandes?
Parade pour venir.
Si sommes.
Caval parade. Caval parade. Commandes! Ambulo! Que demande une grande course? Caval parade. Oye, oi! Sommes parade. Commandes! Inevent!
Pierre
Cursores!
parade.
Ne lâchez caval!
Quoi de la bourre?
Quid labour?
Temps de retournar. Secco mater.
Labour Speranza. Io ma sono la cosa.
Cursores in les cavals. Respect. Ah, grande course. Comprendo. Quitte cursores. Perfecte. Menacé par deux. Délâchez caval. Inavant cursores.
Ici, arquère.
Cursores perfecte.
Dans le civalier.
Sommes parade. Délâchez caval. La grande course. Comprendo. Commandes. In avant, cursores. Relâchez caval.
La bourre spérant.
Equites sunt valero. Equites ascendentici. Pace bove.
Caval perfecte.
Mondesquid. Morvo. Seco materia.
Cursores, parade. Quitte cursores. Si voleis! Respect! Quitte cursores! In avant cursores! Si! Ne lasciez cavale!
Au Oquest. Sì, comprendo.
Cavalla! Comprendo! Perfecte! A grand cours!
Momentesi, arquero, veggio.
Or come mondes.
Oh, messier. Quedme, labor spérance. Si sommes. Yaffect. Cos'è sarà massonata?
Parat porvenir. Fido, si.
Vale!
Cose sera ma sonata. Vado labura. Cose sera ma sonata.
Paras porvenir. Parat venies.
Dolmemi secund monde.
Lanquier in movement!
Au come mondes.
Sagita in arco.
Parat pour labura.
Beneffect.
Parate equite. Come mondes. Equites attendentis, si volies.
Odite.
Quidamus. Si volies. Secund mandement. Si, comprendo. Attention. Novos
Demandes.
ordines.
Buon labor.
Si sommes.
Au est facile, cavalier.
The French discovered the Routier hidden camp and could put an end to the English raids if they could destroy the camp.
Momentesi, vale, arque. Deusel, arque. In avant. Arque. Deusel, seguita. In avant, arque. Parate, arque. Ambulant. Reste compagnie. Vate, arque. Prépare audience. Arquer, in avant.
Tourma!
Parat porvenir. Camino. Vado labura.
Sagita in arco.
Vale!
Io ma sono la cose.
Coursolres in li cavale!
Odite. Parate, in avant, servientes. Parate, servientes. Demandes. Entendo. Homes, preparat, ambulance. In avant, servientes. Parates, anonsi. In ayuda, ambulance. Veniez, servientes. Ambulance. Ambulance. Intendo. Obedio. Bene, bene. Obedio! Servientes. Avanti! Veniez, servientes. Servientes. Sieste. Audience. Veniez, servientes. Parate. In avant, servientes.
Wait, me?
Six hommes. Provincial pour la matière.
Pierre Parade. Audite. Parade. Reparate, arquer. Hommes, veniez, servientes. Audience. Parate, servientes. Momento, si, arquer. Parate, arquer.
Parade pour la bourrard.
Parates, servientes.
Parade, cursores,
Wait,
parade.
mais-
Quitte cursores.
Vade, arquer. Arco, parade.
La bourse pericivatos. Si, cam. Tuts audite.
Veniez, servientes.
Escolte ben. Parade pour venir. Comme mi train, cam.
With the routier camp destroyed, mercenary attacks were no longer a threat.
Ambulance. Obedio. Sieste. Allons-y.
Sommes parats. Oye, oh si, respect.
Audite. In avant, serviette.
Coursor, aucune grande course. Cavale parate. Cavallo ici. Coursor obéient. Oye, oye.
Oh, me entendo. Veniez, servientes.
Si. Commandes. Que demandes? En boulot.
Barats pour la bourrard.
Jouet d'amour.
Cavale perfecté. Si, qu'une grande course. Que demandes? Un boulot. Cursor au Simoleis. Si. Commandes.
Parate, bene, bene. Parate. Obedio.
Cursor. Oye, oye. Cavallo ici. Comprendo. Cum grande course. Un boulot. Si voleis. Perfecti.
Omes, allons-y. Odite.
Entendo.
Colones, requiem mondement. Non sono la cose.
Colones, Paitis.
Nos menacent.
Colones, parade cette proms. Colones sunt ici. Retournons comme matériel. Prépare. In avant, Tarkier. Parates, ambulance.
Que demandes? Cavallo ici. Oye, oye.
Parate, ambulance. Sieste.
Cavallo ici.
Omes, prépare audience.
Que demandes? Oye.
Parates, servientes. Audience! Chitotra! Allons-y!
In taking the village of Jouy, the French army was closer to stemming the peasant rebellion and regaining control.
Mandesqued.
Cursor obéissance. Un boulot.
Parate. Momente obedio.
Caval cum grande course. Ok. Perfect. Comprendo. Un boulot.
Odite. Audience. Bene, bene.
Cavallo ici.
Arquier Gemandes.
The village of Poissy, rich in gold deposits, was a crucial town for the French to reclaim.
Cum grande course.
Ome venies, servientes. In avant, servientes. Entendo. In avant, servientes. In avant, servientes.
The French army defeated the rebels at Poissy, and took control of the gold-rich village. The central monastery town of Cocherel was still under the control of rebel peasants. The French army would have to take it before they could launch an assault on Charles of Navarre.
Oye, oye!
Parate! Bene, bene. Audit si est. Quid labor? Audite. Bene, bene.
Si! Cavalo ici!
Parate, serpientes. Hommes, préparate.
Les hommes sont ici!
Préparate, archers. Préparate, allons-y. Intento. Servientes. In avant, servientes. Parate. Sagitas pisas.
The French army took control of the rebel villages, and the peasant uprising was subdued.
Besogne à faire?
But to keep control over the region, they would need to defend its center of influence, the monastery at Cocherel.
Jouez votre plaisir.
Northeast of Cocherel, Charles of Navarre's army had established a fortified camp. The King of Navarre sought to make himself ruler of France as well. He intended to press his claim by destroying the newly arrived royal forces.
Ayez cure aux commandements. Obéis aux commandements. Venez vos, décidez Spartos. Lectons-nous à la voie bien brillamment.
Pour vous servir.
Compagnons, ayez bien cure, j'obtempère. Si comme le volet, oyez voir à parmer. Si comme le volet. Pour vous servir. Chevalier Bastille. Veici le ferai-je non. Ayez cure, commandement. Jambert, poète folle. Compagnie venez-vous, et si des Spartons. Accoustres-vous pour des Spartiers.
Pour vous Or le ferai-je.
Archers, mes archers. Chacun sait à valoir. Veici guerre à parmer. Archers, mettons-nous à la voie. Bien brillamment. Compagnons, ayez bien cure. Venez-vous, et si des Spartons.
Pushing up the hillside, the French discovered Charles of Navarre's camp. His front line had the high ground and was made up entirely of archers. The French would have to think carefully about how to approach the stronghold.
Ayez cure au commandement. Obéis au commandement. gentil, donc reste maintenant. N'importe. Oh, me faut traverser ceci. Comme volette. L'ordre d'avance ne s'arrête.
Dictez-moi votre commandement. Amène-toi, toilette!
Ça, laisse tous. À votre commandement. Juste y a Laurette.
Ennemi, point de foyer!
Je gagne mon game. Ça, compagnon. En avant.
The French army had repelled Charles of Navarre, stemmed the revolt, and held back the raids of the Routiers. In the struggle for control over France's lands, the king still clung to power.